the absolute laws of nature, for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. The divine mind knows, the divine mind shows all things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Salute, salute, salute. Peace and power to the people, the struggle. What's going on? What's good? Yeah, I know. I know the fight is about to come on. I know that people are mixing up, getting ready for the throwdown, right? To see something that they already seen. East New York, peace and power, salute. But I decided to uh go live tonight with a Saturday night Q&A. With a Saturday night Q&A to give people zigzag zig, peace almighty, peace, peace, to give people the opportunity once again, salute Mark, to ask me some of the questions. Peace, cousin. Some of the questions. I see VA's in the house. I haven't seen you in a while, Miss Natalie. Salute. Peace, cousin. My cousin Darius. What's good? Uh, to answer a few of the questions, all right, that they have been placing in my DMs, in my inbox, on Facebook, Twitter direct messages, and emails. And emails. So salute to everybody. Who else is in here? Let me see. Who else is in here? I gotta get used to this. Uh, what's going on with all that? Peace, y'all. Um, Again, there's been a lot of questions. A lot of questions based on a lot of information, a lot of news stories that's been going on nationally and internationally this week. Salute, 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 Boogeyman. What up? What up? And again, we don't get to speak on it. Salute, Knife. We don't get to speak much on it on Outspoken, on No Filter, because it's very subject based. We try to stay on topic. We just got my book. Peace, King. Thank you. Appreciate it. Primo, what up? So again, question and answers. Question and answer. And one of the main questions I've been getting over the past few days, Black, what up, is what do I think about the incident where these robots dragged a paraplegic brother out of his car, abused him, right, and arrested him, all right? Meth the cab, what up, right? And again, like I stress to our people on a regular basis, to our tribe, not to be triggered by these incidents, especially when the point of which someone begins recording is questioned. Well, it's questionable to me. Like, we don't know all the particulars. We don't know that entire story. And for one, many of us, the majority of us, have been in that position before. Hey, Tierra. Um, Now, none of us that I know of, and if I'm mistaken, please correct me, are paraplegic, right? So, but we have been stopped, accosted, beat up by police. The robot tried to ask me for a deal at McDonald's, and I just walked away and refused. Yeah, that's your power. That is your power. People don't understand how powerful silence is, how powerful just walking away and not acknowledging it is, and the power to say no. That no, that vibration, right? That no is very forceful, but it's nothing like ignoring a supposed or an attempted confrontation. Nothing like it. It freezes them. They really don't know what to do. So now it's up to them to continue to be the aggressor, to continue to come out of character, to continue to come off script and put themselves in a compromising position. You understand? Right. No speaking English. Anything. You dig? Um, you have to again work on how you perceive situations and practice placing yourself in those situations. You have to practice these things, and that's something that we're not taught. Unfortunately, most of us who have lived in the criminal lifestyle, right, who have lived in the criminal element, are used to these things. You understand what I'm saying? We're used to being a constant, so we know procedure, right, through default. We understand it, but it's a space now where they're attacking what we want to call the common community, right? The non-confrontational, right? The non-criminal community in society and criminalizing them because that's the only way they know how to bring about certain changes that they want and to enforce these little pockets, right, of repression in a concerted effort to reestablish fear or to uh, exude a higher level concentration on fear in order to get the outcomes that they want. So now they're attacking common citizens. You dig? I, I'm speaking in code, Miz. Don't worry about it. Hey, Cola. I'm speaking it, but it's very direct. You understand what I'm saying? It's very direct. So it's minimal code. What I have to do is articulate where we need to be in the simplest way that I can, right? Without being inflammatory, right? Peace talk, without alarming or alerting anybody because we're not in that stage where we should still be getting the same treatment or ending up like our predecessors, right? Like our elders, like our teachers, right? Like our liberators. We're smarter than that. We learned from that. So the way in which we utilize social media to speak to each other, right, to get to a specific space is what we're going to do. But Joel, we always have to watch how we move. We always had to watch how we spoke because dissension and when it comes to how they move, you understand? They have to know when they have awakened certain elements of dissent. So we always spoke in codes. It's code. Nowadays, those who are less intelligent or less tactful have lost that. Those are the ones who stick their head up, get the head cut off. Or we know that they're being used as agents for, right, this government. Excuse me. We know that they are agents of misdirection. and their numbers I mean, in the millions. Those who we see on social media, right, are just the ones we can point our fingers at. But I'm talking about the ones that are right next to you, the ones who may be in your households, the ones who may be down a block from you, the ones who may be around the corner from you, the ones who may be at the job site with you, the ones who may be in school with you. Those are your true enemies. You dig? You have to. You have to. Uh, because again, if we get into a position where we're just looking at white people and their institutions and saying that they are our enemies and our only enemies, and we need to work with galvanizing our people and everybody bunching our people up into black people, we're going to be wiped out. You're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. We're going to be annihilated. We're going to be wiped out by people who you believe are your people because of the tone of their skin. And I'm telling you that that is not smart at all. That there are people who have your tone, that have your DNA, that move to the vibration of your enemy, that move to the vibration of these institutions, that have more of a vested interest in this shit staying intact than white people. So you have to be mindful of that. You have to be very, very mindful of that. When the horns blow, right? When the horns blow, you're going to be astonished at who is in the ranks, at who becomes your tribe. Because again, this is a global endeavor. It is a global endeavor, and you don't know who is really on your vibration until the boots of repression come, until it is really, really time to be on the front lines for us to come up out of these foxholes and do what needs to be done. The ones who look like you, the ones who can speak like you, the ones who can dance like you, or be the ones that will put the goddamn blade to your throat. Understand that. You have to understand it. You dig? So when we are seeing specific images and things online, right? Do not get triggered by. We past that. We past that. You can't be triggered by that. Okay, we know that. We already know, right? That overt racism is nothing but the tools of overt racism, right? Police brutality, miseducation, medical apartheid. Those are symptoms. So if we look at that, we see the brother get dragged out. He's claiming he's a paraplegic. He's telling them he's a paraplegic. Okay. Remember, that event already happened. I don't care if you was right there. I don't care if you was an hour away. But by the time it went viral, that event had already happened. If you continue to get triggered by what takes place in the past, you will never be able to focus on the events that unfold in present time that you should be more concerned with than that. It already happened. Can't help them now. It already happened. It's done. Whether they arrested him, if you're not part of that process, if they arrested him and he got bailed out and now he's, wanting justice, he's going to go through their system in order to sue and get a lawsuit and all that, even if they would exterminate him on that spot right there, right? That is a symptom of what we live under. So now, if we trauma bond with each event, with each viral video, if we keep trauma bonding with that and being triggered by those incidents, we lose concentration, we lose parts of our plan. If we're moving forward, if we have a solid plan, if we have goals to meet, we lose that by wasting energy over there. Now we can speak to it, we can look at it, we can analyze it, we can listen to the language, we could uh, determine what mistakes were made. Exactly, Mark, is nothing new. We can determine what mistakes were made and make sure that we don't do it again. Hi, Rashida. Okay, first question: what is your daily routine and how do you remain consistent? My daily routine, especially during the week, is making sure my immediate family is tight. Right? Um, my better half is elementary school principal in training to be superintendent of a district. So she, in the district where we're from, which is a District 19, right, consists of shit, anywhere between 20 and 40 elementary schools. So as a superintendent, she would have to run that. So I don't know how I can break it down in a small amount of time. Daily routine used to be different. I used to get up in the morning, stretch, work out, go do my workout, come back, and shower. By that time, uh, she would be showered, right? I, would moisturize her entire body, whatever clothing she needs to go to work. I would iron it, press it, boom, get get her lunch prepared, get my daughter's lunch prepared, um, get ready to get them out of the house, get them out of the house, right? Get her to work, get the daughter to school, get in the community, um, whatever the community need, whether it would be on the track, chasing prostitutes off of the track, addressing some gang beefs that might have started, right? Trying to get information, do reconnaissance as far as how police is moving in the community, looking around to see if anything new popped up, if there was any streets cut off, any new cameras that pop up, just getting a tone off of our area, as only any soldier needs to know exactly what's going on in his area. I would, and it's always making sure, right, that anything that's taking place is written down. I make note of. I make note of different police movements. I make note of different sanitation movements. I make note of different ways that school safety is moving, since they are in conjunction with how the police is moving. I look at the ticket agents to see how many come into an area, to see if there's going to be mass ticketing. Because if you drain the resources, you drain the finances out of the community, you immediately stress the community out. I look to see if there's any patterns and gentrification on how many people, right, of different backgrounds have moved into the area. Now, in the course of doing that, that's just where I live and where I'm from. But to get there, I have to pass through several neighborhoods. So in those different neighborhoods, right, that I'm going through, I'm watching for the changes in those neighborhoods. So I may go from Flatbush to East Flatbush to Brownsville to East New York. And on the cutback, when I was working with that specific nonprofit that I was working with, I would have to go around, right, and cut through Bushwick to get back down into Brownsville. So I'm surveying every community, looking and seeing what construction is popping up, things of that nature. I'm noticing everything that has to do with the community, any new structures coming up, what the churches are looking like, how many churches are in the area. You understand? How many people, what drug spots, who's selling what, looking around to make sure there's and see what changes are being made. Looking at methadone clinics, seeing which methadone clinics are, populated with heavy traffic, making sure there's no danger when you see certain schools zones, and seeing if anything pick up around there. It's daily motivation, it's daily soldiering, because we are responsible for what goes on. I'm responsible for what goes on in my community, so I gotta know about it. By the time I do all that, I usually get back home, read. Whatever I'm reading. You understand what I'm saying? I'm picking up anything from Fanon uh, to Che to something from Winnie, anything in my extensive collection. Um, Usually is warfare. I'm definitely checking out. Then I'll go through social media and see what pops up on the social media that may alert me to say, okay, I need to do my homework over here. You understand? Then by that time, I may have my first anger management client. So I may have one or two of those during the day, right? This is all before 12 or 1 o'clock. So all that is taking place before 12 or 1 o'clock. By 1 o'clock, I'm thinking, damn, I gotta get things prepped for dinner. Because the hours start moving like that. I may talk to Doggy. We maybe shoot 3 or 4 different topics off each other's head. If we can, we may go live early. If not, we'll save it for the evening. Right? So I'm consistently doing all this and making sure that I am doing what needs to be done as not only a leader, right, but as a general. Um, that's important. That's how my day is structured. By that time, my daughter's on her way home. I'm going to pick up my better half, and from making it home. Usually I done cooked it or prepped it already, depending on how we moving. By the time they all in the house safely, it is what it is. Now I'm prepping, I'm getting ready. I may have another anger management participant before we go live on one of the other platforms. And in between that, I am watching, looking, and maybe talking to a few people who's trying to get me on their platforms, for interviews and things of that nature. So that's basically what it is. And I'm hoping to get back into a space where I could be in the gym more often, more uh, to the way that I'm used to soldiering. All right. So that's what my day looks like. That's what it's structured. You know, um, I have no time for anything else. I don't have time to wallow. I don't have time to sit back and have negative and regressive thoughts or defeatist attitude. I just don't. If something catches me, it may catch me for a moment. Can I go into detail about medical apartheid? Medical apartheid is what we're watching. Medical apartheid is what we're living through. Medical apartheid is you not being in control of any aspects of what they call medicine or what they call healthcare and how it pertains to you and your body. Medical apartheid, right? You would have to get the book. It is the way they used uh, the practice of medicine to literally kill our people, to experiment on our people. You dig? And that's not only it's the majority of melanated people, but it is something that has taken place throughout the globe, where you still have this 1% or the elites, and they are in positions where they own all aspects of healthcare, and they also sit down and write policies, political policies that determine who gets the best health care, who deserves to live, who deserves to not, who deserves to be saved, right? Things of that nature. That's medical apartheid, just like South Africa had, human apartheid. You did? Yeah, there's only one book on that I know of as far as medical apartheid, and that's what it's titled. I'll put the book in the comments section when we finish. I keep missing things. Okay, there we go. And pardon me because this is do you think there are food shortages coming? The food shortages are here. Excuse me. Food shortages are here. But how do you combat food shortages? Eat less. Eat healthier, eat smarter, and eat less. Conserve energy. When you're not working 60, 70, 80 hours, when you're not working, right, 60, 70, 80 hours, you conserve your energy. You don't have to eat as much. How much food do you think the Vietnamese, right, Viet Cong was eating in the battlefield? Dudes would eat a handful of rice and kick ass all day and fall back. You understand? We have become accustomed to a lifestyle, to a Roman Catholic, Eurocentered way of eating, gluttony, that prevents us from moving as soldiers. So again, stop being reactionary and waiting for these things to happen, and start thinking progressively and making sure, right? Well, you can grow food in your own community, which a lot of people are doing it in Brooklyn and in a lot of different spots, right? But again, when you grow food in your own community, how do you protect your gardens? And, right? And not only how do you protect your own gardens, but if there's concrete everywhere, if they're building up and taking away lands, right, where you can grow, where you gonna grow? Because now the homes that they're building don't have even closets in it. There's no closet space in these new things. So there's not even enough room to grow food. It's just not. And when people say these things, again, true, you have spaces, but when you're once you're moving outside of the cities, that's why it's so important for people to not get into a space where you can buy 20, 30 cars if you got it like that, and not buy, you know what I'm saying, 100 acres of land to put people on, to put gardens and farms on. You understand? This is what's going on. People in the city, I'm in the metropolis. Every day I'm seeing them take down something, and it could be farmland there, a little spot for a little garden, and they throwing up a whole building, the storage units and all type of unnecessary dumb shit. So it's more than that. We have to really learn that. You understand how to utilize time, space, and energy for us and pull up out of what's going on, right? You gotta, and you too, you gotta be able to protect it. If you can't protect it, you don't have anything. Daily recognizance, true soldier. You remind me of my dad who served in the Gulf War. Salute to your dad. Which Gulf War? The first one or the last fiasco that we had? You know, and that's about the time where I got out of the service, right on the cusp of the first Gulf War. Yeah, some of them don't even have stuff. I'm telling you, and that's why we have to communicate with each other, because these people don't understand what's going on in New York. They don't understand what's going on in Philly. They don't understand what's going on in Newark and Detroit and Chicago and a lot of these metropolises where they can employ certain strategies that we can't employ. You understand? That's why each general have to be an expert in his own backyard. And then we can build with others who have the ability to do things. What is your take on the government giving out so much money all of a sudden? Um, my take on it is they have to keep the economy rolling. Quiet storm or stuff. They have to keep the economy rolling. So in order to keep certain aspects of society kind of in a sheep mentality, blinded, they have to have them believe that this structure isn't falling. That these dreams, these American dreams, the dreams of abundance and being selfish can be realized. The minute you take cash out, the minute more people understand that they are really effed up, that there is no bread running around, that activates a different mind state. You understand? That activates a different level with the average person. So now everybody's on the same page. So what do they do? Some of that money, some of those resources that they've been hoarding, they gotta let it out. That's the capitalist way, okay? But they're not letting out nothing that's going to affect their bottom line because again, they beat people with so much, right? The inflation is at an all-time high. Again, I came up in a time, and I can only put it like this. I came up in a time where a slice of pizza, where's this shit? Excuse me, y'all. South Florida, can you help with anger management for my older brother? Definitely. Email me. Give me the information. We set the fees up. DM me on Instagram, and we could do it. Everything is virtual, right? Um, I came up in a time where a slice of pizza was 55 cents. You would get 2 slices and a little bit of juice for $1. Those same exact slices today, right, cost $3. Same size. So now they say it's because of the inflation. It's because of the cheese. It's because of the cost to get the fresh mozzarella, the cost of the bread. So if you never inflate the price of the cheese, that means the slice should be, you should lower the price of the slice. But everything is so inflated. A box of cereal that costs maybe 80 cents to make costs $5 to purchase. That's sugar companies, different companies, and they throw all this shit in there. Well, we paying for advertising, we paying for the packaging. Certain things have to be a certain way. All of that inflation is going in the pockets of a few. So of course, when they notice that, okay, people don't have it and they can't buy it, what sense does it make for us to keep increasing the prices if the regular average consumer can't buy it because they're not buying it? They make that shit for us, for everybody else to purchase. This is a consumer-driven society. Once the consumer stops buying, everything collapses. So you have, right, a overproduction based on a fantasy that it's going to all sell, and then the consumer doesn't buy it, so it's under consumption. Overproduction, under consumption, the shit fails. So what do? We got to start putting money back into the system to allow it to keep moving. That's it. But that doesn't mean that the system is going to stay intact. It's going to fall. It has to. And the only thing they do is shift different populations over. So now where you have a whole bunch of woke and conscious people saying, well, we're going to eat healthy. We're not going to eat meat. We're not going to eat high sugar based products. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. They bring another population in who always had dreams of Captain Crunch and shit like that because they may not have had it in their part of the world. So they get over here. They know they can dazzle them with the pretty colors and the packaging, right? And it's giving them the opportunity to say, oh, I'm eating good because I'm here now, not knowing that they were eating good where they were at because they were eating off the land and they were indigenous to the land and they were preserving their health, but they got caught up in the dreams of what this shit is. So they shift populations, and in the mix of shifting populations, they kill and destroy. Understand? They kill and destroy other populations, which sometimes it means killed in older elders who have been here, who have lived and survived through it. That's all this is. And what do? They control the time, they control space, they use medical apartheid, they use justice systems, and they use slick talking individuals to con and misdirect the people. And before you know it, everyone is fighting everyone. No one knows their purpose, and you just have nothing but mass casualties, chaos, and death, and somebody sitting back watching and waiting until it tempers down again and they can reestablish control. Our problem is that we don't focus on anything. In 1990, Kohler, that's the first Gulf War. Salute to him. You think they're trying to make a one world government? They're attempting to, but we know that because of narcissism and egos, that somebody's going to want to be that number one, and they will be having infighting between them. You understand? Let's say one wanted to go viral on social media, Hollywood came calling. How do you work in the realm without giving up your grippers? I have no idea. I don't have no idea. I have no idea. Unless somebody is in that world, in that institution, acting as a double agent and is allowing certain messages to go through there. If not, you know, either you're going to give up your grippers or you're going to give up something. You're going to have to work within the confines of that to where your message is tempered down to a point where it's not effective, right? Or you're just going to comply all the way. You know, I will say, and shout out to everybody who was listening last night to Outspoken. And I spoke on the my issue with the check engine light. And people donated to the Cash App for the check engine light. It is the check engine light, and it is also what is a light saying service your four-wheel drive, which means usually that means, and I can't switch the gears is shifted from snow to sport to such and such, but usually means my tranny's about to go. So that means my shit is kaput. And I'm telling you, I've had problems with that vehicle since we took it off of the showroom floor. And that car had 7 miles on it. 7 miles on it. And I already put like 12,000 worth of work on that shit, from the engines to the brakes to the suspension to all type of shit that was going wrong with it. Damn a Jeep. Never again. Never again. That shit is a bill. Kept me broke. You understand? I bought it and it's not long. It was a 2015. Um, Bought it in 2017. 2021, and I'm telling you, this shit been acting up. Nah, it's a Jeep, ain't it? Kia, it's a Jeep. Latitude. So yeah. And in the mix of that, no, it's a Jeep. Your opinion on the age of consent and how some men are looking at 17-year-old girls. For me, the age of consent is 21. Should be 21. Excuse me, when you're talking about relationships like that. No age of consent. And out there anybody, 10 years or more older than a young woman, young girl that's coming into womanhood, he need to get his head punched off. My mechanic was selling 2007 3400 new engine. I said no thanks. Yeah, you can't. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Telling you. My son and his friends are watching this build and other builds in their college dorm. Word, good, peace to them. That's what I'm talking about. Especially this. If they got question and answers, throw it out there. And my daughter is a bit under the weather, so I've been taking care of her, and that's aggravating and a bit stressful, because she was fine all year until it was time for them to go back. So that has me, I had to go get all these natural remedies and put that back up in there, oranges and the ginger and the garlic and the soups and the liquids, just, everything up. So that's what I've been doing all day, getting her little body back up and running. But, it's a slight fever. It's not, nothing crazy, but I don't take no chances having lived through it. So that's where that's at. So again, I'm not one to try to make it seem as if, my daily life is any different than anybody else. I just have different ways I commit to doing things. You understand? Karim Johnson. Wait a minute. Where'd that go? Okay. Is there any way you can tell me how to deal with my identical twin brother calling me a racist because I speak up for my people and want my people to do better? Who are your people? Who are your people? I don't know who your people are. Jason Johnson. Who are your people? And why would your twin call you racist? Why would your twin call you racist? I think it Wells. Yeah, she got no choice. She got no choice. Right? Let me tell you something. When people call you racist for speaking up against any wrongs or injustices, they don't have a clue. They don't have an understanding of what racism is. They don't have an understanding of what racism is. If they can call you a racist and you're powerless, you really control nothing but stating, right, your belief and standing up for something that you believe is wrong does not make you a racist. Not at all. You can't write any policies. Have you dehumanized anybody? You got somebody from a different race in your basement where you're beating the hell out of them and holding them against their will, or forcing them to work, or establishing a policy that is not only going to affect them but everybody of their kind? You're not a racist. How can you be racist? If you don't have the mechanics to do that, you ask them that. I saw you on the video telling prison story. I was scared, but you say you never know someone. You don't. You don't even know the people who you're married to until pressure hits, until adversity hits. You always tell, wait a minute, slow down, slow down, slow down. I hate this thing here, man. Okay, there it go. You always tell me ain't nobody stopping you from doing anything. Always tell him that my people's not doing good, and I'm a millionaire. I don't see. I'm trying to give it the best way that you can give it to them. But you have to DM. You have to have a conversation with you offline. Peace, man. Peace. Salute, salute. So again, as y'all coming in the building, it's a quick Q&A for Saturday night. It ain't that quick. It's already been 45 minutes. You dig? Speaking up for your people is not racist, not at all. I see you, V. Gibson. I see you. No doubt, V. I see that. But again, quick Q&A Saturday night. I know the fight's on. I sent you a message or messenger. V, you got the number, so we good, you know. I'm at a non-profit, but the people I work with don't really care about the community. Advice? Leave. You really want me to go there? You really want me to go in on non-profits? Just get another whip, Bliz. It's done. It ain't that easy. It ain't that easy. Do you really want me to go in on non-profits? Okay. That's real, Karim, because you do find a person. You don't. You got to. People have to be in adversity, and I tell my fathers that in domestic violence and all that. You know, are you up on esoterics? Yeah, I know about Bobby Kemet. Yeah, definitely. But I don't lean on a lot of those doctrines. You know, I'm a soldier first. I believe in war. I believe in arms. Um, Bliz ain't messing with no non-profits. I've done it. I just left one. All right. Wow, you make me nervous. I have a 2020 Jeep. I could tell you about it, Cola. DM me and I'll tell you about them damn Jeeps. I'm serious. Please go in on NPOs. Okay. Non-profit organizations. They're only as good as their upper leadership. They're only as good as their CEOs. They're only as good as the belief that the CEO, right, is making an attempt to live through. If they wishy-washy, so is that whole organization. If they are seeking or living through government funds where they're dependent and relying on the government funds, then the government funds is the one that's going to run the nonprofit. Simple as that. Simple as that. I've lived through it 4 times. I've had some of the worst experiences ever with nonprofits. I've been through ones that are all black from top to bottom and swore that they was red, black, and green. And when it came down to the end of it, government was running that. Government was running it. Straight like that. Straight like that. The mission, everything was out the window. And that's small to a medium-sized nonprofit that had maybe 100 employees, all black. And I've been at a big nonprofit, which been around 100 years, with mixed staff, right? But they was just there. The people in the communities didn't feel the true effects of whatever service they were supposed to be providing, and whatever the government agenda was, they switched the RFP up to match that in order to get the funding. And again, the people suffer, which is why I just breeze from one, because your policy ain't my policy, and I will never lose my integrity and my service to the people because you want to get funds from the government. Fuck you. Especially after I've been trained in everything, quote unquote trained, the brainwashing that they give you. You dig what I'm saying? Did you have a medical MOS in the Army? Yes, I was a combat medic, 91 Alpha at that time. So nonprofits, fuck them. Because eventually you're going to have to compromise what you believe in. And so will a nonprofit. What if we run it? You can run it any kind of way. How are you going to fund it? You would have to have private funds only. And it's very difficult to get private funding. Very difficult. Very difficult. And each grant that you get from the government, there's stipulations in it. So depending on the mission statement, you're going to have to adhere to what the government want. I tripped out last night when you said you read Marilyn Manson's book. Have you ever been to Marilyn Manson? Damn, I hate doing this shit, man. What did I do? What did I do? Whoa. Give me a second. What the hell happened here? Give me a second, y'all. I done touched something I wasn't supposed to touch. What is going on? Whoa. Now I don't see myself. What happened? Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Oh, I see what the hell happened. There I go. God damn it. Get this in there. Now, where y'all at? There you go. Hold on, let me get back to this question. Tripped out last night when you said, man, have you ever been into any of his music? I listened to all of his music. Give me your Cash App. My Cash App is $Bliz, BLIZ 155. Bliz 155. I hate doing it. Why does she keep doing that? Peace and light. What up? Let me see if I could do this with something else, man, because I hate to keep touching this shit. And that's the worst. But anyway, yeah. Marilyn Manson said, yeah, that's what bogged him out. Peace, Black. He used to watch his grandfather cross-dress in the basement and play with dildos and stick them in his, his grandfather used to play with his own rectum with dildos and all type of shit. That shit wigged him out. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. But they be into weird shit like that, man. You living in them wet, I think he's from Florida somewhere, bugged out, yo. Off the meter. I got a bag of Hawaiian rolls on site, all right? Hawaiian rolls? For what? Hawaiian rolls? What you making, turkey burgers? Right? Yeah, no one has authority over you at all. Yeah. Well, again, I'm in the barter system. Listen, whatever we create is going to be new, and then we can name it as such. Anything that already has a name and has been established, you dig? Anything that has to be established or that has already been established isn't working. It's not. So you have to find something else, name it, and then work it. So what we knew as a barter system, either our enemies are going to try to fight against it, you understand? Or it will be deemed ineffective. So we have to change that up, Yeah, you do. You have to get your supplies up. You have to get your supplies up. You have to. It's mandatory that you need different things now. That's a need. And like I said, the way they shut down 3 prominent apps, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. That's a test run. They're going to start doing this shit globally for longer spaces at a time and in different spaces and different sectors to cause panic. What you have to do is make sure that doesn't have an effect on how you're moving. Think of civil war. Well, we're definitely going to have some type of war. I don't know if it's going to be civil. You understand? It would be more, we can find private funding if we create an NPO for the black community and uplift the community. I wouldn't deter you from it, and I'm not saying that, but it is evident that our own people who appear as us or who appear to vibrate as we vibrate don't put back in the community. This is not new. Nonprofits been around since the 1900s, early 1900s, and there's not one in recent history that has sustained itself on just private funding without going to the government. People don't give back to them. They just don't. They don't. They don't. I'm telling you, I've been in. Look, New York City is the mecca. This is the financial mecca. This is the political machine at its finest. And I'm telling you, it doesn't happen. There's nothing but bread here. Florida, Ohio, wherever dude is from, wherever he from, it was weird. And I don't know why I'm thinking Florida from what he said in the book, whether his grandfather lived there or not, you know. Without reparations, we are done. With reparations, we are done. Reparations ain't gonna do shit because there's no system for us to put it in. There's no institutions for us to put it in that's outside of this shit here. So if we were all to get a reparations check tomorrow, the institutions that govern everything here is going to be fed. That same exact, I don't care if they give every person 100,000 tomorrow, 250,000 tomorrow. It's going right back into the system. It's going right back in. Whether you buy a home, whether you buy a truck, whether you buy arms, whether you buy clothing, anything is going back to them. You don't have any independent, right? Institutions, manufacturing, nothing. Nothing. There's not a system here. Here. It's going back to them. I don't care if you put a black face on it. I don't care if Michael Jordan, Nissan. I don't care if everybody in that particular area of Raleigh, Durham. You understand? Gets they reparations check and they go to Michael Jordan Nissan. He don't own that. He don't manufacture those vehicles. He's still going to whatever it is. Whether it's Ford Motors, whether it's Nissan, whether it's that he don't own none of that. He's not making engines and none of that, so it's still going back into the system some way. That's where my beef with reparations is. Where are you going to spend it? Now, if there were policies in place prior to reparations, it may allow individuals to create their own institutions to really compete with what is going on. But you don't have no policy, you're done off. True reparations, again, would be zero debt. I don't care what kind of debt. I don't care if it's a homeowner's loan. I don't care if it's a college loan. I don't care if it's some type of credit loan. Zero debt. Wipe out all those who have a debt. Wipe it out. Give all of them, whatever your credit rankings is in this country, give everybody a 800 or 750 credit score. Wipe out all of their debt. All of it. And then you start with a financial package. You understand? Okay, that's your point. When I say reparate, I don't mean cash payments. That's it. Right? And even then, we will still struggle if we don't have policies in place that's going to assure that when you do pick up, because they can do all that. They can wipe your credit out. They can give everyone land. They can give you a cash payment, right? But if the policies are in place for them to continue to have their robots kill you because of the color of your skin with impunity, that reparation don't mean shit. It just don't. It just don't. That's what I'm talking about. We're in a structure where the institutions have to come down. It can't be reformed. It can't be revamped. It has to be eliminated. We have to start from zero because everything about these institutions are emphatically now cipher. They are false and they are lies. And when you build something with a corrupt foundation, such as that, it is only doomed for failure. We are even working and speaking and living through and vibrating in the wrong dimensional platforms. When you control time and space for as long as they have, this shit is out of order. So you gotta scratch it. All of it. And only responsible people, disciplined people can begin the reworking of how we deal with each other. You can't rely on that. That shit gotta go. And they understand that. That's why eventually they will give you, here. Whoa, though. You can't get this reparation check unless you get tuned up. So now how's that? Do you still want your reparation check then? Now what? Okay, yeah, we got 250,000 for every melanated person. But you gotta go get tuned up. Now what? So now what? Every melanated person gonna go get the check, right? And get tuned up. And then what? They done wiped out a whole 2 generations for paper fiat money that ain't about shit. Come on now. We're under strict. Listen, the foundations of this shit got to go. And what kind of generational wealth? What kind of generational wealth? 465 years. That gap, the wealth that we missed in that gap is a spiritual wealth. It is a wealth that we have not been in touch with because of the time and the space. When you disconnect the people from the universe and their true purpose for over 500 years, it's more than paper wealth. It's more than paper wealth. You don't understand the depths of what they just did when they disconnect you from that vibration, when they have you in an atmosphere where they have all these different protons, neutrons, electrons, and all this shit that prevents you from connecting to your higher state of being. and living under a whole different purpose. You won't understand that. They cannot repay you for that. They got to be wiped out. Simple as that. Simple as that. They got to be wiped out. Bobby Condas. Why are we talking about Bobby Condas? Is Bobby Condas still alive? I mean, I'm not trying to kill him off. I know he was very ill for a while. Matter of fact, I knew Bobby Condas' wife at the time. He had a beautiful sister, tall sister too. She was about 6'1", 6'2". Voluptuous, beautiful sister. I'm like, damn, she rocking with this dude? No. There is no other conclusion. This shit gotta fall. Who was that? Bobby Condas. You don't know Bobby Condas from the radio? Used to play all the reggae joints, all the yard music and all that. The white dude with the dreads. That's what Bobby Condas is. What's my thoughts on the Chappelle controversy? Well, ironically, I just watched it. That's what took me so long to come on. I don't think it's a controversy. I think Dave Chappelle is very, very brilliant. And I dug the show. I understood everything he was saying. All of it. All of it. Jokes were on point, very thought-provoking, but of course, once you come out hard like that, he know what kind of industry he in. But remember what he was saying. Yeah, I'm going there. I'm going to go all the way. I'm going in, and he went in, and for me, it's not no controversy at all. You dig? Don't drink. Don't give that drink manufacturer free. I'm just drinking it. I'm just drinking it. I mean, people know about this, I think. Yeah, Chappelle was straight facts. It's facts. You can't get around nothing he's saying. That's facts. It's one thing if he's on there spreading falsehoods. You understand? But when you giving facts and not popular opinion, this is something that's indisputable. Let them debate with him across the table and see what if he's saying anything that was wrong. That's it. He didn't say anything wrong, you know. Yeah, you know, and watch it with someone who is an objective thinker, so you can enjoy it. Why you think they're trying to make all Muslims look bad? Because Muslims is anti-American, and they have a different way of dealing with finances. That's why they want them to look bad, you know. But are they bad? A lot of them are very bad, very chauvinistic, very oppressive, and brutal. Very chauvinistic. And when we're dealing with specific aspects of society, you don't have no time to be chauvinistic. Men and women must be joined at the hip in equity. Simple as that. You can't expect somebody to fight with you so they can be oppressed by you later on. That don't make sense. That don't make sense at all. So your woman's supposed to support you so you can kick your enemy ass, and then when you kick your enemy ass, then you beating on her and kicking her ass? That ain't right. Yeah, that video I sent on Islam was deep. Islam went into the continent. Arabs beat the hell out of melanated indigenous people of the continent in order to force Islam on them. That's a fact. Any organized religion is forced upon. whether it's brutal or it's through coercion. And the funny thing is that we as humanity have evolved in every other aspect except religious beliefs. We have went from rotary phones to smartphones. We have went from hello, how you doing to yo, I can see you Skyping and FaceTiming. We've went from four-wheel cars that can only go 20 miles an hour to four-wheel cars that can top 230 miles an hour. We have went from not being able to communicate and photocopying with Xeroxes to sending documents at the speed. You dig what I'm saying? What up, Bullet? Salute. With the speed of light. But when it comes to religious order, we have not elevated past the first three dominant religions. You have not learned to communicate with each other past those dated scripts that have not worked. So you mean to tell me you can elevate in every other aspect of humanity? You can do all this marvelous shit. You can fly to the moon. You can send men across the water in a day or two. You can travel the globe in less than 6 days. But you can't find a different way of dealing with your spirituality. That shit is asinine to me. So again, all them books need to be scrapped too. All of them. All of them. All of them. Scrap them shits. Because any scholar can go through any one of them and find falsehoods based on historical fact and inequities. Or within the beliefs of everything that we got moving around us, is going to be oppressive to specific groups. And those groups will feel slighted, and one day they'll have arguments to rise up and shoot them shits down. So at that point, all of them need to be scrapped because there's blood on all of their hands. They haven't elevated us in no better space. Not near one of them. Right. If someone told you about, but again, check how we do. We had the concept of it. The Jetsons and shit like that. That's man. That's showing that we live and exist through different time portals on a regular basis because we had the concept. And if you got the concept of FaceTime and phones and then you make it happen, that means that it was already in existence. You just had to wait till you were able to physically put it together. So if we have the true concepts of what these religious books are supposed to really be about, if you scrap them, then you can work on a different way of being and then create a new doctrine for us to live, for us to manifest a true and living. It's just that simple. But when you want to hold on and harbor to this shit because it's the only thing you know, then you done off. And you done off. Because you manifestation on most of the shit that is inherited. That's an inherited belief. That's what I had to learn. I inherited Islam. That was passed down from my father, who never knew his father but was raised by his grandfather, who was a Baptist minister, a 33 and the third degree Mason, coming from Georgia. He rejected that and went into Islam. So I was born into it and inherited it. And once I really was able to read and doctrine and live through it and see the inequities in it, I trashed it. I'm good. What good I took out of it that I still incorporate in my life to this day? Indeed. But on a whole, it didn't bring out the best of everyone. I've seen people do the most heinous shit in that. I've seen it. So now what are we going to do? How do we evolve? How do we grow? How do we grow? You can't grow when you stuck on something that you inherited, especially if you're not at least willing to look past it. So what I do, I studied other books. I studied Judaism. I studied Christian texts. I studied the mysticisms of how they work in Judaism. I had 10 years, I had a decade behind the wall. I had to study and practice and read. I studied, I sat with the Abuna when the Rastafarian came into the prisons and studied under that. Come on now. Come on now. If you're not willing to look past that, you're going to be stuck on stupid. You're going to be stuck on your inheritance, which could be false. It could be false. So then, what would that make you? That would make you a walking lie. That would make you a living contradiction. And in such, that means you're not here with it. You're not manifesting. You're not even believing what your essence is. And this is what happens. So imagine now if you're a conscious individual and you're still stuck on something that you inherited without at least playing devil's advocate to it, you're going to be a mess. That's why you're able to scam people. That's why so many people in the conscious community don't have the integrity and the morals and can scam their own people because they're in a doctrine that they inherited, really don't believe in it, don't have the true understanding of it, and they can fish it, whatever they want out of it. They can fish certain parts out, spit it back to the people who don't know shit about it, and embrace it. So now what are you going to do? You could be part of that, or you can show some growth. It's on you. It's on you. I choose not to. Why? Because I'm a soldier. And I believe in that. Because I seen what our enemies can do with being warmongers, with being soldiers. I see that it doesn't matter how intelligent you are if somebody puts your brains on your shoulder. Don't matter what doctrine you follow. Whoever has the most disciplined army, whoever has the smartest soldiers, they win the war. They win the war. When they pick the right targets, they win the war. So my pledge is to arms and to building smart, disciplined, militant soldiers. Simple as that. These people that run this organization, this corporation, they don't care about those doctrines. That's why all their money goes into financing their military. Because they don't care who's in. They don't care about none of that. They don't care what you believe. They don't care about none of that shit. What happened in Selma the first time they went through? You have a dream? Okay. You got a dream, right? All right. Walk your ass across this bridge. And they got their ass beat. So they had to go back and regroup. Keep people in the same system is intact. So yeah, you made little strides. You were able to get certain policy changes. But the same dudes that beat your ass with a brick while you sat in Congress and all that for all them years, 4 decades, them same brick throwing people were just chilling. They didn't give a damn because their institutions were still intact. And at any time they wanted to come bust your ass, they'll come bust your ass again with impunity. So what are we doing? And why are we even debating about dialogue? Why are we debating about policy when we see in actual fact, in real time, that nothing matters? Nothing matters if you cannot win a fight. If you cannot win a battle, nothing is in place. Nothing is in place. So that's where I'm at with it. You got to build an army. You understand? So, again, as always, I love my people. So, only a few things that people was asking me. I know somebody wanted me to go in on domestic violence, but that's a course. And I mean, that's how I eat. That's how I'm able to sustain myself. And it's getting harder and harder to do it because, again, during the pandemic, the courts are closed, so people are not mandated to take it. You understand? So I got to get more clients in order to do it. So I'm definitely not going to give a whole free domestic violence course. You know, I will say that if anybody's struggling or knows somebody that's struggling through it, I can assist them and and if you want to know the signs of it, right, I can do that. So you know how to see it. So you make sure you're not being abused. Uh, you have children that's not being abused. Do I have any online courses? I told you. Everything is through me. You want a consultation, you want assessments, all that. I do everything virtual. But I don't have any and then sit down and put a course together. I think that's disingenuous to sell it. What is going on with this thing? All right. How long you think it will last? Two years in? A lot. I had to step up with my stepfather and tell him you're not gonna be putting your hands. No. You putting hands on mom, you gotta drop them. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. That process is something crazy, and you gotta recognize that. At any time, it could go all the way left, and you will be having to. I mean, it gets nasty. It gets nasty. That gotta just stop. You gotta find a way out. You know, that's one situation. Can't live in that. Domestic violence gets very volatile, and as we see the uptick in what has we know now as the end result is somebody killing somebody and then killing themselves. You know that's something that's very deep, and the TV is mean. So you got to know the signs. Yeah, you can. It gets crazy. What about the spike in mental health and drug addiction? Well, the spike in drug addiction actually is coming from the pharmaceutical companies. That's really where the spike is coming from, and of course from the conditions. Like if you take somebody who was once comfortable and you just distort everything about their life. I mean everything. Just change it up. Mentally, they're gonna shift. It's like taking a straight person, right? And I mean straight as in straight laced, never been to jail, none of that. And you throw them in jail. Excuse me, a lot of them people be shell shocked, can't function, can't operate. That everything that they believe in has been snatched away from them. They're going to bug out. Some may be able to deal with it. Some may become monsters and get accustomed and adjusted to it. But the average person is going to bug out, and they're going to look for a release. And a lot of times, drugs is the release for that. You know, that's just what it is. So that's what you got in society. You got a lot of people who felt that they were secure in this capitalist society, middle classes and things of that nature. Now I'm telling you, I see people that make 200,000 a year, and they struggling. I know people who have master's degrees who are unemployed. You know what that does to the mind? You know what that does to them when they've been taught all their life? It's all you have to do is be straight, laced, do what you're supposed to do, finish school, earn your degrees, and you'll be set. And they do all that and then they're not set. Shit. They become custies real quick. That's what it is. Take away security from a lot of people. Take away security from a lot of people. And I'm telling you, they will bug out. But who doesn't bug out? The people who ain't never had shit to begin with. Yeah. Uber Eats, yeah. Yeah, shit'll break your mind, your soul, all that. All that. I'm watching. I'm watching every day. I hear you, but somebody having different conversation. 200K not properly managed. How can you manage it? I know people who were making 80,000 living in the projects. I know people who just got on their feet, but been in so much debt and have so much generational debt that 80, 90, 100,000 they make a year is not even a scratch in the bucket. It's not. It's not. 200K a year is nothing living in New York City. Please tell them, Jason. Nothing. Nothing. At all. At all. At all. At any given time, I could run through $1 a day with bare necessity. Any given time. Gas tank every 3 days is $40. If you allow it to go that low. I'm telling you, any given time, you gotta put 20 in there. So what? The average rent, if you're a renter, don't dare to have kids or a family. If you need a 3-bedroom, the average is $2,500, and that's a bullshit 3-bedroom in one of the worst neighborhoods. So combine that with food, with groceries, with internet service, not even cable, just internet. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Let's not bullshit. So now what do? Oh, yo, move out of town. Okay, you go out of town and your salary gets cut by 2/3. A teacher in New York that's making 80, 90 grand on the low end to go out of town, they give her 35,000. Let's not play. Let's not play. I'm serious. 200,000 ain't shit. But who's making 200,000? What occupation can you have that's gonna pay you 200,000? So again, at one point, some people was making 200,000 was good if you was pulling that in the 80s. Shit, this is 2022. That 200K ain't shit. Which got people minds gone. Got people minds gone. Because they got 3 and 4 kids. They got a sick elder that they trying to make sure that they take care of. Come on now. Come on now. I'm telling you, my father-in-law, medical bills is ridiculous for long-term care, for Alzheimer's and dementia. Even with him working for the city 30 years and retiring. Shit, he retired, and he retired almost 30 years ago. So his plan is all right, but again, it's part of the medical apartheid. If you don't fall under certain levels and classifications, then your bill goes up because they determine that you need more care. So even with his bills, maybe his monthly bill was 12,000, and his insurance covered 8. There was another 4,000 that we had to come out with. So we putting out another 4,000. But remind you, I got almost a $3,000 rent and a vehicle and insurance on a vehicle and kids to raise. You understand? This is what capitalism is, where you have to make specific choices. So your purpose can never be fulfilled. So either you working to exist for this government, these institutions and what they say, or you live on your own and have to find a way to make it. You understand that? This is how serious this is. This is why it must fall and it must collapse, because only then can we live our potential to be greater and find out a new existence and rename it and deal with each other in the form of us evolving and elevating humanity to a different space. Can't be fearful of that. But these motherfuckers got to go in order for you to realize that. They have to go. What do you think happens to Khalid Muhammad as far as who had committed the killing? Had to be somebody close. I'll leave it at that. Had to be somebody very close. I know you can never get me to believe that he just passed from no brain aneurysm. Somebody close put that in him. I'll leave it at that. Very close. Again, like I said, all family ain't family. Simple as that. You at your most vulnerable in your bed. Hold up. Yeah, fixed incomes is very rough, y'all. Very rough. Very rough. Very rough. You know? Very rough. Very rough. It's rough, man. It's rough. That's why I can't even understand people that got the audacity to scam other people or to take money from people, and they not providing the need. They not fulfilling the service. They're not doing shit. And then you see them in Dubai. You see them on beaches. You see them fresh dressed. You see them doing a whole bunch of bullshit off of people's struggle money. That's deep, man. Them people are supposed to get a bullet in the fucking brain. Straight up. I'm telling you. Those are some despicable bastards. When do you think the system will fall? As soon as you put a plan together. As soon as you put a plan together. And everybody has the same idea of it falling. How do you feel about Khaled's son becoming a millionaire? No comment. No comment. Fuck his son. Yeah, very grimy. And they laugh and they chuckle. Why? Because they be out somewhere and people don't know where they at. Our people don't use what our enemies use, which is ingenuity, time, and social media and technology to find these enemies, to follow these IP addresses, and to get these scammers and to meet them at their fucking doorstep. And instead, y'all celebrate these motherfuckers and give them a pass. I'm telling you, the day I see any of them, they're gonna wear something. They're gonna know my displeasure with them. I'm telling you, any one of them, I don't play. You gonna feel it. I'm guarantee you. These bastards is the worst. They are the worst. They're the worst. And these are the ones that's lining y'all up. These are the ones that when they block you off of their social media, they alerting other entities and agencies that you are one of the rebellious Negroes and they need to come get you. That's what they do when they be blocking y'all. You don't understand that because these people are government agents. They work with the government when they can pull your resources and give it back to the government. And people always was asking me, yo, what's wrong with a museum? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with that strategy? What's wrong with moving around? And it's obvious to a duck because they trying to keep the system intact. That's all they doing. When you put a structure, do you know what happens when you put a structure in a city or in a state or in a province and you call it a museum? Who's going to build it? What government contracts do you get? What do you get as an entity? What does the company get as an entity for doing that in a specific city? Who's going to protect it? The police, right? What kind of taxes come around from that being there? All that is working in conjunction with the government, but they got your mind thinking that since it's black and he got these black stories and structures that you can read anywhere, that is for you. It ain't for you. That's game. That ain't for you. Put that in any municipality, any local government, any of that. That shit earns money for that project. And as long as that project is there, that government, that structure around it, those institutions around it, get money from it. Simple as that. They get money from that. Do your homework. Do your homework yourself and see exactly what takes place when you want to put something that large anywhere and call it what you called it. That's it. Go ahead, do your own research. See what it takes to begin the planning, the contractors, the groundbreaking. What politicians are involved in that? That shit is not independent. You can't say I collected all this bread from black people and I'm going to just put this here. Come on now. Come on. It doesn't work like that. Not at all. All y'all gotta do is look and see how long it took them to do the hip hop museum in the Bronx and who was involved with that. Come on, this is not rocket science. That means you had to work with specific individuals in government to get it done. And if you're working with specific individuals in government, if you're cooperating with specific individuals in government, then you are cooperating with the government. Therefore, you are cooperating and you are an agent of them. You are working with them. What are we doing? What are we doing? So are you against them or are you working with them? They let you put anything into play as long as you work with them. Anything. Anything. They let you put a goddamn structure up that's called Uncle Crackers, Mr. Saltines. And in here we only serve chicken, watermelon, and malt liquor. And we're going to come in here and we're going to have Dave Chappelle's talk about white people and his jokes and all that. That's what we're going to have right here. And they're going to say, okay, how much is the government going to get for us to allow you to break ground right here on that? Right? Right? So you working with the government. But inside there, you talking about, yo, what they did to us and all that. And that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's just like Muslims in New York City saying they hate Jews and they want to establish a free Palestine and all this other shit, but they mosque is in a building that Jewish people own. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are you doing? And if y'all think that don't go on, come to New York City and I'll show you buildings that are owned by Jews, but it's a mosque in the building. So you could be in there saying all type of shit, anything you want to say, death to America, and you can say all that. Long as every month you pay that rent. Come on now. Come on now, this is what we're doing here. You got to make things make sense. If at the end result, you still at the bottom, if at the end result, you still having to ask somebody to do something, then that's not on you. You're not independent. You ain't independent. You playing. But if you want to be independent, you got to go through the struggle to be independent. You got to do it on your own. And that is what people fear. They fear that the most because you got to struggle when you by yourself. It's like you getting your own apartment away from your parents the first time. You got to make sure that rent is on you. The cleanliness of that apartment is on you. You got to do everything on your own, and that's scary until you get out there and do it. So black people got to stop being scared. Whatever's going to come from your independence, it got to come. You got to go through it. Simple as that. Simple as that. You got to go through it. What do you want? Hold on. You haven't given me a definitive answer to what? As a millionaire, what are you doing or have done to empower your people? I'm not a millionaire. What are you talking about? I'm not a millionaire. I ain't 100,000 heir. Shit, damn it, I'm not $100 heir. I don't know. Never had $1 million in my life. Ever. Keep telling you, my credit score is 0. What does it matter? I don't have nothing. Nothing. What dollar bill say? Nothing. My goodness. nothing? So fuck, what we doing here? Trust, the first million I get is gonna be gone. I don't keep bread. I don't. I don't. I don't. I'd find 200 people to pay their motherfucking bills with, whatever they got going on, so they can be able to get a cushion. Fuck, I'm gonna do with $1 million? Nothing. I ain't got it. I don't have nothing. Trust and believe that. Everything that comes and goes out. Everything I get goes out. Not a stitch stays in there. I'm telling you, it's evident. I always tell people, I'm as transparent as they come. I'm transparent. You go to anytime they got a Facebook memory, and them videos maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, you might see the same goddamn shirt. That's just how I do. Somebody manifesting $1 million for me. I'd like to see your thoughts on manhood and how the debt. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. I got it. I'd like to see your thoughts on manhood and how debt of any kind, child support, college credit, is viewed as it is a total emasculation because it's used in a capitalist society as a form of humiliation. So if you're unable to take care of your children, that already tarnishes your image and your self-esteem. It tarnishes it greatly. And if you are not of the mental faculty to bounce back from that and allow society to question your value and your worth to your family and your offsprings, that's what it is. Because they have always said, well, if you can't take care of your family, then you're not a man, right? And put certain policies in place to prevent you from taking care of your family, right? Especially if taking care of your family means protecting them, right? I know, Beville. I know. But others may have thought you were talking about me, right? Right? But so now you in a position where structurally, right, you may not be able to take care of a household, right? Um, it's very emasculating if you value yourself in their eyes. See, I've taken care not only this family, but extended family. Extended family. And taking care of them from this perspective, from here, and making sure I was able to move resources around so that everybody had their basic needs, right, taken care of. So I already know my value. If I didn't know my value, I wouldn't be in the house now. I'd be out in the street right now, chasing some little tail or drinking a drink and all that. But I know my value. I know my potential to be greater. And it doesn't come with a check after every 2 weeks. Because I could get a check for 8, 9, 10,000, but I'm never in a home. You understand what I'm saying? So people have to change that. You are more than a provider of financial means when you take the claim or take the title of husband, father, brother, uncle, godfather. You dig what I'm saying? Those titles, you can do an excellent job at that without that check. Now, of course, the check may allow you to be a little more loose, but if you spending 80 hours, 90 hours over there to get that, then come on now. Come on now. Who's really benefiting from you being a man? Gotta understand that. And the people who said you weren't a man because you couldn't financially provide for yours, right, were the same ones that had slaves taking care of everything for them and was talking this shit, but wasn't working, wasn't providing, wasn't doing shit but cracking the whip and raping everybody. You did? So how do you really value yourself? Now that you woke and aware and conscious, you say, hold on, I bring more to the table than just that. All right, look, open my own cleaning and cooking LLC as a single mother. You see what I'm saying? Come on. Come on now. People are doing it. But you have to know what you can do and then operate on that and not allow them to take so much from you. Your value is more than a checkbook. You don't think any good came from dude's documentaries he did? Listen, documentaries is fine. That was a certain audience. That's a certain audience. So what did it do for me? What did it do for me? That's what I want to know. What did it do for people? Because everybody's not new woke. So when he put things together with Shahar Ali, we sat at her feet. We sat at her feet. And Phil Valentine and these individuals are not new. They're not new. None of them are new. They've been here. So you put it together, you get a whole bunch of them, put it together and give them sound bits and pieces, and you supposed to be praised for that? That's the only work you got to put in. That's the only thing he got to do after he came through the door as a pimp and a comedian wannabe. So he automatically puts it together, and now y'all change our whole trajectory of who he is? You want to give him props for that? Come on now. Come on now. Let's not play. For others, he may have did his thing. Not for me. Not for me. And then I dig into the history. What is his history? What is the history of the individual? And that's going to show you where his end result going to be, because you always resort back to what you once know and appreciated. And as a pimp, his move and motivations is to hustle. That's what his motivation is. So his motivation wasn't to expose people to these individuals, because that would have maintained in his platform on a regular basis. His main course of putting documentaries together is to get that bread. Simple as that. Simple as that. So again, people could keep playing. Keep playing. Keep playing. And idol worshiping these clowns who don't put no work in the street. At all. At all. Keep playing and acting like the feds ain't tap on his door. I ain't forget that incident neither, because that's when he switched gears. When it was a quote-unquote swatting incident. Yeah, okay, y'all keep thinking that shit. You keep thinking that. As the feds telling them, boy, you better change up. Come on, man. This shit is basic for me. It's basic. This shit is basic. I read through that shit because I've been taught jackanapes and all that shit and agents and all that. Come on, man. Y'all better stop. Y'all better stop. Stop. Stop worshiping these dudes you don't see in the street that is not able to be touched, but you don't know what he doing right now. Why he in Dubai on the beach? Who else he chit-chatting with? While these dudes claim in the mass media that they under investigations and shit like that. And they be somewhere in some goddamn CIA think tank getting their mind washed and directions and instructions. Keep playing. Keep acting like y'all don't know this type of shit happen because you don't study war. You don't study their tactics. Keep playing. Keep playing. It's like I told y'all about the NFAC bullshit. And everybody was all hyped up on, all emotionally charged. Where'd that shit end up? Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Who helps me? The people help me. Through my practice in helping them, I actually learn how to be better. Whenever I am able to resolve an issue, that's how I get my help. And I have a whole bunch of black women that do everything within their belief to make sure I'm shielded and protected. There's black women that pray for me. There's black women that actually do work. And you know what kind of work I mean? They do that for me. I have black women who counsel me, who speak to me, who send me well wishes. That's my energy. I believe in my black women. They take care of me. So I get energized from that. That's what I do. That's it. Okay, yeah, y'all can see through Jay, but y'all can't see through Tariq. What's the matter? What's the matter? You show me any liberator that is making R&B videos after claiming that you're going to get money to do something else. I'm wilding with that shit. That shit is, come on. Come on. Come on. These dudes ain't worth. They not about it. They're about it. Shit is a TV show. That shit is movie shit. Anybody can sit back and get information. You know how much information people send me all day that I could just come out and regurgitate and put a spin on it? What are we doing? That shit is not hard. In a format and put it in a package to get people to persuade them. I already told you what that shit is. That shit is nothing but marketing. It's media training. Intrigue you with language and words. Deceive you with a misdirection, messages and shit like that. And then persuade you to believe that they with you. That's media marketing training. And where else you going to get media marketing training from? Crackers, your enemy, who are experts at doing that. So now, what they allow the conscious community or the woke community to do, to put it on these platforms. Simple as that. That's all they do. Being in the streets, doing shit. Nothing. Some of them can't even stomach walk in the streets because their vibrations is off. The streets is hungry. You can't lie to them. You can't deceive them. You can't fake that shit. You can't be in the street fake with it. So they don't even come out there. They don't come out there. You don't see them out there. They're not helping nobody. Once this shit shut down, I'm in the street. It will. Some of the most needy people don't even know that they're in need, and will tell you. You could see they could be literally dying and say, "I don't need your help. I'm good," and you could see them leaking. So you not willing to get in and really be professional at knowing how to get to the most needy when they don't want you, when they tell you, "Yo, kiss my ass, beat it." If you're not willing to go through that in order to be a professional, because anybody that come and tell you, "Yo, I need help, I'm coming to you for help," that's easy. That's easy work. That's easy work. Anybody with proper education in the field can do that. Get to them little bastards that gonna tell you, "Man, get your ass out of here." And see how long you last. See how long they last. That's why they switch gears and try to find the easy way. You keep informing people with the same shit. You keep informing people with the same shit. That's not work. That ain't work. That ain't work. I'm about to work. I come from a different school. I was taught by different people. I know what the work is. Ain't no talking. Ain't no talking. Ain't no hiding. Ain't no hiding. No. Is leaving the United States an option? No. Or is it actually time to revolt? Ain't no option. This is global oppression. They more twisted in other spots than we are here. You go over there, you be surprised what the fuck is going on with indigenous or melanated people in them spots. When the fuck you think it started? They had to start over there before they could do it over here. What is my FICO score? Fuck I look like? I don't believe in that shit. That ain't my value. Fuck I look like? Why am I gonna fight oppression and slavery only to say my FICO score is this? The fuck, I don't acknowledge these people. I don't acknowledge them. What am I acknowledging them for? For what? For what? For what? Come on now. That sounds stupid. Bumfuck, you proud, right, to be the best financial slave. Yo, they acknowledge me. They acknowledge me. You know, my FICO score is 740. They acknowledge me. Get your ass out of here. That shit sounds stupid. You against everything, but you want a good FICO score. You make that make sense? Make that make sense? You got knowledge of self. You aware. You know, you will put all these other titles or unconscious and all that, but you going back to them to say your value. Come on, man. Come on, yo. That shit though, yeah, come on, man. Come on, stop that, man. You're not dealing with no elementary mind over here. Fuck out of here. Come on now. That shit sound crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. You want to be acknowledged as a man or a woman or king or God. But as soon as your oppressors come through, what's your FICO score? What? What are you talking about? You serious? Come on now. Come on now. Y'all can't be for real with that shit. Yeah, somebody trolling. FICO score. Come on now. Come on now. Really? Really? My shit is at 0. Fuck them and they credit ratings. Fuck out of here. And ask anybody who I helped in the past, man. Shit, in the past 20 years, my value. I got people to stop fucking drinking and drugging. I got kids to stop killing people and got motherfucking gigs and taking care of households now. Got their guns gone. And you think I'm worried about a damn FICO score? You crazy. What? I'm a manifestation of truth. I remain militant. Fuck I look like talking about a damn FICO score. That's a joke. How should we prepare for war? Get your mind right. Get your mind right. Can't prepare for war if your mind is fragile. Gotta get your mind right. You got to see the eventual falling and the collapse of this shit. That's the beginning stages. It takes money to go to war, really? The Vietnamese had money? Fidel Castro took a country. Did he have money? Mao had his people damn near starving and dead and came back to make China a superpower. He had money? Come on, you better stop that shit. Winnie ain't had no money when Nelson went to jail and they out there with fucking brooms and rocks fighting soldiers. What money did they have? Fuck out of here. And since y'all keep talking about blacks spend so much money here in this country, we control billions and billions of dollars and giving them bread. We got money. All them weapons cost money. I'll kill you with a pencil. You don't need no weapon to kill nothing. Come on, you just need the right mind. Your mind is messed up. Everything, you don't need big boom booms. Sometimes you win a war by sitting down, just saying no. Weapons. Come on now. Like I said, look, I'm not an elementary individual. I'm not an elementary individual. Can't come on here playing. Can't come on here playing. I'm very sharp. Very sharp. You can't come over here playing. I keep telling y'all, Kizzy spit in a cup. Dig? But look, it's past 2 hours. So, I did my Q&A for a Saturday night. And again, I gotta go check my baby girl temp, make sure she's good for the night, give her some more uh, soup and some more tea, you know, make sure she good, Hopefully the Cash App made a little something. How do I start to organize people and how do we keep spies? Once you're above ground, we can't keep spies. Like you see agents and bots and shit all up in this. Once you're above ground, you can't keep spies out. You understand? You just can't. But you get your tribe together and you build and you share information that's vital, and then you gotta push people to their limits. You dig? That's how you do that. That's how we organize. And the more we come together, the more we talk, the more we network and organize, the stronger we'll be. You understand? That's how we gotta do that. And it's coming. It's coming because again, we're not in this alone. This is a global battle. You dig? This is a global initiative. All right? Yeah, you gotta push people to the limit. I'm telling you, you gotta test people square. If you don't test they square, they could bullshit you in the ranks forever. You can bullshit you in the ranks forever. But you gotta be critical thinkers. You gotta push people. You gotta check their skirt. And that is sometimes you could do it through dialogue. You can see what dudes at just by talking. You're like, oh, you's a bitch. You ain't ready to do nothing. Because you good. You got these inherited beliefs that you don't even know why you believe in them. You just do. Never put them to the test. See, it's different when you see them saltines bleed out the mouth. It's different when you see your enemy on his knees. Very different. I come from a very, very different cloth. You dig? So again, salute. I love my people. Don't believe in me. Believe in my belief in you. Because I believe in you. I believe in my people to the fullest. Just gotta move right. You dig? You just gotta move right. Alright? So y'all make sure that you be patient with yourselves, that you study, that you love on yourself, that you give yourself positive thoughts, progressive thoughts, none of that negative shit. You inhale and exhale bullshit. Whatever good come, you take that. You be patient, you study, you be analytical. Stop being emotionally triggered by bullshit. That's all you got to do. And we'll get there. So salute, salute, salute. I love my people. Remain militant. Yeah, she gonna heal. Thank you. Much appreciated. Must be. You could send us some oranges and shit though. You know how we do. You did? Alright? Everybody be easy. Love y'all. And yeah, share it. Share the video. Get it out. It's a Q&A. I answered a lot, but that shit come kind of fast. I didn't know how fast people were throwing them questions out there. You dig? And we'll do this again. Alright? We'll definitely do it again. Peace.